As a seasoned horror fan, I thought I had grown immune to all zombie films, but this 2013 release, Frankenstein's Army, completely broke down my psychological defenses. I found myself unsettled for days after watching it. In the film, Dr. Frankenstein's grotesque creation of human-machine hybrids, far more terrifying than traditional zombies, struck a nerve. The found footage style only intensified the experience, making it feel like I was watching real events unfold. But because of the extremely disturbing visuals, I wouldn't recommend watching it alone, especially for those with a weak stomach. If your curiosity gets the better of you, make sure you have friends by your side. The story is set during World War II. Dmitri, a graduate from the Moscow Film Academy, is tasked by his superiors to accompany a reconnaissance unit to the front lines, with the goal of documenting the soldiers' lives and combat missions on film. At first, everything seems normal. The soldiers fight bravely, successfully wiping out wave after wave of German forces. But as the squad ventures deeper into enemy-occupied territory, their experiences become increasingly bizarre. It all starts in a forest, where they discover a strange corpse. Its head looks like that of a dog, but its long arms and human-like skeletal body make it disturbingly ambiguous. The group dismisses it, as they have a mission to continue. Shortly after, their radio mysteriously goes silent, leaving them unable to contact headquarters. Sergei, the second-in-command, assumes it's a technical malfunction and suggests abandoning their attempts to call for help. The next morning, however, the radio picks up a distress signal from another squad. The unit, calling itself Tiger Bear, claims they are in an emergency and need immediate backup, providing specific coordinates. Captain Novikov, confused, picks up the radio to ask what happened, but the other squad doesn't seem to hear him and keeps repeating the same coordinates. Sergei notes down the location and pulls out a map, discovering that the coordinates point to a remote mine. Since it's nearby, Novikov decides they should go assist immediately, though Sergei is suspicious as none of them have ever heard of a squad codenamed Tiger Bear. For safety reasons, Sergei suggested scouting first before making a decision. Novikov is adamant that his comrades need help, and there's no time for caution. Reluctantly, the squad follows Novikov's order and heads toward the mine, unaware that their nightmare is about to begin. On their way, they come across another corpse this time, clearly a German soldier, but on the battlefield, corpses were everywhere, so the squad paid little attention except for Dmitri, who, holding his camera, was curious. His sharp eyes noticed that the corpse's arm had been replaced with some metal parts, suggesting that this soldier had undergone some sort of modification while alive. Before Dmitri can investigate further, Novikov, returning to hurry the team along, urges him to move. Dmitri, however, did not say anything about his discovery. The team then passed through a forest and finally saw the mine. Through binoculars, Novikov observes smoke rising from within the mine, evidence of a recent battle. However, there's no sign of any soldiers. As they cautiously approach, they encounter a bizarre sight: a heavily armed soldier fused with machinery, seemingly becoming one with his weapon. This is only the beginning, as the horrors lurking deeper inside the mine are about to unfold in ways they could never have imagined. By the time they reach the church outside the mine, they're greeted by a horrifying scene: piles of charred bodies. The smoke Novikov had seen earlier was coming from the burning corpses. The bodies are all nuns. Even the battle-hardened soldiers are shaken by the grotesque sight. Could this be the work of the Germans again? Without lingering too long, eager to locate the distressed Tiger Bear squad, Novikov immediately leads the team into the church to investigate. To their surprise, the seemingly ordinary church exterior belies an interior far from what they expected. It looks more like a factory than a place of worship. Due to the dim lighting, the new recruit, Sasha, activates the basement generator. As the lights flicker on, a teammate on the first floor makes a disturbing discovery: a strange corpse with wires connected to its head. What's even more terrifying is that as electricity courses through the wires, the body comes to life the next second. Its ghastly appearance resembles a zombie, leaving everyone frozen in fear. The creature's body has been grotesquely modified, its human features obliterated, and its arm replaced with a power drill. It seems to have lost its sight and can only detect sounds to navigate. Brave Novikov grabs the zombie's hand, aiming to put it out of its misery with a single shot. But, to his horror, the seemingly fragile creature raises its drill and stabs Novikov with a sudden, ferocious attack. The team reacts, pulling the zombie away and riddling it with bullets, but the damage is done. Novikov is dead. The sudden turn of events catches everyone off guard. This half-human, half-machine monstrosity has shattered their understanding of the world. Novikov had sacrificed himself, but they hadn't even seen the Tiger Bear team. Sergei tries to use the radio again but receives no response. Left with no choice, Sergei orders a continued search of the area to find any survivors, hoping to uncover the truth about what happened here. The squad moves on to search a nearby village beside the mine, only to find it deserted. As they prepare to enter the houses for further investigation, strange noises come from the neighboring farm. When they entered the farm, they were surprised to find many live poultry. This suggests someone is still alive nearby. Sure enough, an old man appears, but before he can say anything, the soldiers shoot him in the leg without hesitation, quickly surrounding him and dragging him into a nearby house for interrogation. Dmitri asks what happened to the village and where everyone has gone. The old man said that they had either died or fled. He also said that it was related to a doctor. Dmitri wants to press further, suspecting secret experiments might be taking place here, but the hot-headed Vasily had completely lost his patience. Desperate to know the whereabouts of the Tiger Bear squad, he cuts off one of the old man's fingers with a knife, warning him that next time, he won't stop at a finger. Under this threat, the old man reluctantly leads them to a building and points to a tunnel, claiming that the people they are looking for are inside. For safety, Vasily pushes the old man ahead to lead the way down the tunnel. Dmitri, camera in hand, follows closely, but just as he turns his head for a moment, the old man mysteriously disappears. They quickly spread out to search, only to encounter something horrifying. A modified zombie suddenly emerged from the side and launched a fierce attack on them, with scythe-like blades replacing both of its arms. Dmitri, who was closest, narrowly avoids being cut down by the creature's blades. Luckily, a soldier at the front opens fire, but their bullets seem to have little effect, forcing the group to retreat. But they didn't realize that there were more than one zombie. The group is ambushed by more of these mechanically altered monsters, impervious to traditional weapons like bayonets and rifles. Terrified, Dmitri quickly fled, only to have his path blocked by a lobster-like zombie. Fortunately, his teammates have managed to carve a bloody path through the horde, and Dmitri rushes to follow. Along the way, he encountered several more zombies, but in the end, he managed to narrowly avoid danger and catch up with his teammates. Right now, all they wanted was to escape from this terrifying place, but a zombie suddenly appeared and clamped its steel helmet around a teammate's head. Covered in iron plates, the creature is immune to normal bullets. In desperation, a teammate throws a grenade. With a deafening explosion, the squad seized the opportunity to drag their injured comrade to safety, eventually making their way back to the church. Grumpy Vasily thought they should leave immediately because everything that happened here was too strange. However, Sergei insisted on continuing the mission. Like Dmitri, he suspected these terrifying monsters were the work of the Germans, possibly part of a new weapon development project. They had to find out what was going on. Later that evening, as the squad sat down to eat, gunfire suddenly erupted outside, instantly putting everyone on alert. Vasily cautiously opened the door, only to find a few unarmed German soldiers outside among them. A woman. Seeing a woman, Vasily was instantly excited, but thankfully Sergei stopped him just in time. Sergei immediately asked the woman if she had seen any other Russians, but Eva knew nothing, as they had been hiding from the zombies the entire time. Most of the people here have been killed, only they were lucky enough to survive. She revealed that the zombies were the work of a doctor, and that he was still making more of them. Eva urged them all to hide. Vasily, unconvinced, thought she was talking nonsense and prepared to shoot them, to save her life. Eva quickly declared she was a nurse and could help treat Ivan's injuries. Eva then approached the wounded Ivan and began to tend to him. However, when she tried to remove Ivan's helmet, she accidentally caused his death, which enraged Vasily, and he punched her hard. But before they could react, a zombie suddenly dropped from above, killing one of their team members on the spot. The team immediately opened fire, but the zombie continued advancing towards them, completely unharmed. The only small relief was that the zombie moved slowly, but as more zombies poured in from all directions, the squad found themselves in a desperate fight for survival. Screams filled the air, and Eva was tragically killed in the chaos. In the midst of the frenzy, one of the soldiers managed to throw a grenade, buying the survivors enough time to escape through a tunnel. However, while Sergei was sorting through the remaining gear, he uncovered Dmitri's hidden secret. Inside Dmitri's bag, he found a radio jammer. This device can interfere with signals and send messages. It turned out there was never a Tiger Bear squad. The radio interference and distress signal were both orchestrated by Dmitri. Under Sergei's threat, Dmitri finally confessed his true mission. He pulled out a secret file, revealing that all of this was part of orders from their superiors. It was a classified mission, which is why he couldn't disclose it earlier. His task was to secretly lead the squad to the mine, where they were to capture the doctor responsible for creating the zombies. Their superiors wanted the doctor to manufacture weapons for them, and if the squad didn't comply, their families would be in danger. Though furious, the squad reluctantly believed Dmitri's story, as the documents proved he was telling the truth. They had no choice but to continue the mission. The remaining German soldier knew the doctor's location, and under his guidance, the squad ventured deeper into the facility. However, along the way, they encountered another horde of zombies. With their bullets unable to penetrate the zombies' armor, they were forced to retreat, narrowly escaping through a steel door. Just as they turned around, they saw a half-paralyzed zombie crawling across the ground, but there was no time to linger. They pressed on. Ahead, they spotted another zombie, this one busy disposing of bodies. Since it wasn't aggressive, they killed it with a single shot. Just as the team breathed a sigh of relief, noises erupted from the tunnel where the bodies were being processed. A new zombie emerged, this one designed to grind bodies to pieces, its head equipped with a rapidly spinning propeller. Anything it touched would be instantly shredded. Though highly dangerous, the zombie's weakness was apparent. With a simple cut to a fuel line, the propeller zombie burst into flames and exploded. Unfortunately, the flying debris killed the remaining German soldier. After the crisis was averted, Dmitri immediately ordered everyone to move forward, only to be struck by Sergei with the butt of a rifle, sending him tumbling into the corpse-filled tunnel. The team realized they wouldn't survive if they continued like this, so they abandoned Dmitri, leaving him to complete the mission on his own. Not long after the three men left, a zombie tasked with transporting corpses took Dmitri's backpack. This was a working zombie, and therefore non-aggressive. Its focus was solely on the scattered body parts around it. Dmitri hurriedly followed the zombie, encountering more working zombies along the way. This place was like a factory floor, with each zombie fully focused on completing its task, completely ignoring Dmitri. In this way, Dmitri successfully arrived at a laboratory filled with various tools. In the center was a modified teddy bear with a woman's head and the body of a toy bear. I have to say that the doctor is really perverted. It wasn't until Dmitri spotted a photograph on a cabinet that he was struck with horror. The old man they had captured at the farm was none other than Dr. Victor Frankenstein. No wonder he had led them into the zombie-infested tunnel. After passing through the lab, Dmitri entered a large freezer room. The ceiling was covered with densely packed corpses, and in the corners stood two zombies in hibernation. As Dmitri examined the room, one of the zombies suddenly awoke and attacked him. He barely managed to escape, only to run into more zombies as he fled. Zombies with all sorts of strange forms launched a wild chase after Dmitri. In a panic, Dmitri fled deeper into the basement, but zombies kept emerging from every corner along the way. Along the way, Dmitri encountered his teammate Ivan, who had been modified into a zombie. Dmitri attempted to snap Ivan out of it, but was attacked and knocked unconscious. When Dmitri woke up, he was Victor's prisoner. Victor spared Dmitri's life because he wanted Dmitri to document his research. Victor proudly displayed his creations, explaining their energy sources and mechanisms. While Victor was undeniably a madman, Dmitri had to admit he was also a genius. This was exactly why Dmitri had come. While Victor busied himself, Dmitri tried to persuade him to join their side, suggesting that their army would soon arrive. He warned that if Victor didn't cooperate, everything he had built would be destroyed, but Victor was dismissive. During the conversation, Dmitri noticed Sergei and Vasily had also been captured, though they begged for his help. Dmitri did nothing. It was clear that in Dmitri's mind, as long as Victor joined their side and helped him fulfill his superior's orders, the lives of his teammates meant nothing. So Dmitri stood there, camera in hand, as Victor began the horrific process of turning his comrades into zombies. It seemed that something went wrong in the final step, causing the test subject to fail to activate successfully. But Victor didn't care, because success is always accompanied by failure. In the end, Dmitri was not spared either. Not only did Victor reject Dmitri's proposal, but he also planned to modify him. Victor had a sudden inspiration upon seeing Dmitri. He decided to turn him into a zombie cameraman. Even as Dmitri faced death, he still tried to persuade Victor, but all efforts were futile. Just as Victor was about to cut open Dmitri's skull, a shell fell. It was the army Dmitri had mentioned. preparing for a carpet bombing of the entire area. Victor was forced to stop the modification and prepare to flee with his research, but then a gunshot suddenly rings out. Victor is hit by a bullet. It turns out that the new recruit Sasha has not been captured. Dmitri was devastated, angrily shouting at Sasha, asking why he had fired. Sasha didn't respond. He simply cut off Victor's head, stuffed it and the research into his bag, and walked away, leaving Dmitri to be brutally killed by a zombie. Afterward, due to the research materials, Sasha became a national hero and the ultimate winner of the mission.